What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Pet Shop Boys, and we're returning to Very 1993, and the next tune is 1 and 1 make 5, which mathematically doesn't sound like it makes a lot of sense, but it does make me think of that expression, the whole is more than the sum of its parts, the idea that if two things which have a certain quantitative value, and obviously that could be a more figurative understanding of quantity, that they become something beyond what either of them added together should be or would be expected, in the sense that there's some aspect of their chemistry or collaboration that exceeds the individual skills and attributes of the two things put together in a mere or simplistic sense. It does also make me think it could be referencing the idea of a family, the idea that two people getting together could produce more people in a literal sense, but also in the idea that others may be drawn into what happens when two people come together. And that makes me think about Pet Shop Boys, Neil and Chris, finding their way to each other, becoming a musical duo, and creating not only a plethora of music, quite a lot of music, not only albums, but non-album tracks and remixes and so on, but finding a niche among their fans in terms of, when I listen to a lot of these deep dives, I describe it as synth pop, but when I say synth pop about Pet Shop Boys, I mean something more detailed or specific. It's their particular brand of synth pop. So again, this could go in a lot of different ways. A number of their tunes are about historical or cultural or social aspects or elements, both again in the present and before they wrote their songs. But it does feel like there's a lot of autobiographical perspectives and narratives that find their way into those larger scopes or scales of their themes. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some cross relevance in that regard here as well. Let's hear the track while Luca slumbers. This is Pet Shop Boys. The tune is 1 and 1 make 5, and it's from their 1993 album Very.
Just
That loop vocal, what is he saying? Get it out?
Don't need to worry about you. While I make two.
That's cool. So I'll start with the lyrics. I feel like I'm pretty sure I got where this was, and in at least one respect, it feels like it's in a similar territory as That's My Impression. The idea that the partner is perhaps lying to the narrator, that, it's just me and you, 1 and 1 is 2, and if that's the case, great, then there's nothing I need to worry about. But who's this person that I've seen you with? And you're saying he's just a friend, but I'm suspicious of that. It feels like the narrator has seen their partner with somebody else, and even though there's maybe been an attempt to assuage their concerns that, no, it's just a friend of mine, and so on, he's suspicious that it's more than that, and he's suddenly worrying, maybe there's other guys, maybe there's other people that you're with, and it's not 1 and 1 makes 2, maybe it's 1 and 1 makes 5. So do your best. Convince me that I'm wrong about that. Tell me that it's the math that I think there should be interpersonally, psycho-emotionally, that it's just you and me. And you know what? While we're doing, let's go home. Let's make love. Let's disconnect the telephone cord so I don't have to worry about anyone trying to get in touch with you and whatever. Convince me. Make me believe that 1 and 1 equals 2, and convince me that I'm wrong, that 1 and 1 makes 5, meaning you have these other lives and maybe relationships that I'm not aware of. So it sounds like the narrator has doubt about the commitment or the honesty or veracity of their partner based on things they've seen, but he's not at the same time jumping to the conclusion that 1 and 1 makes 5. He wants the person to reassure them. So it sounds like a very dicey moment in an interpersonal relationship, and he wants to be told that things are as he thought he knew, again using a simple mathematical equation to make that point, but he's aware that maybe it's more complicated, and even using 1 and 1 makes 5, which doesn't make sense mathematically, I think, to indicate that this world that he thinks he's maybe accidentally uncovered or witnessed doesn't make sense. Like, well, I thought it was me and you, and I thought it's us at home and in our great relationship, and suddenly I don't know that to be the case. So it feels like that was the essence of what was happening thematically. Do let me know if I'm wrong. Sonically, a lot of the elements that I've heard from them in different tunes, excuse me, including the sort of synth orchestra hit, but in this case a bit more intense, and a couple of them at the same time, and almost some of the synth work sounded like a horror synth pop track, if that makes sense, and maybe on some level that's the intense worry or horrifying thought that the person isn't in a relationship like he thought, but also that, early 90s keyboard dance music type of feel. So again, a very danceable, dance floor type of track. So I feel like, again, their mixture of synth pop meets dance pop meets intelligent pop, especially again in relation to their lyrics and their references and some of the clever turns of phrase they use. It's all very well represented in this tune. So once again, shout out to Pet Shop Boys, shout out to Seb for sharing their larger material, and as I mentioned before, I will get to Nonetheless, so we'll continue on with this album, which has a very large number of tracks. I think we're only like halfway through when we've already done something like 10 or 11. There's a lot of tunes in the folder, so, and now that I say that, I want to second guess myself, because I feel like oftentimes I think that's the case, and then I realize they're B-sides. Indeed, I was sort of mistaken. I mean, we are more or less halfway through the track, a little bit more, but there's a number of B-sides in here. Let me see. Yeah, there's 10 B-sides included in the folder. Shout out again to you, Seb. In any case, when we come back the next time, we'll be on to Speak is a Sin. So, curious to hear what that'll be all about. Luca is as well. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.